can look really awkward, as if you have come straight out of your sleep. It can look that bad. It can hint towards cheating, and obviously there is no confirmation. Nobody can confirm whether you are cheating or not. So employers do not want to take a chance. Hello my dear professionals, welcome to the channel. So today's session is going to be all about online interview tips and tricks. This is a highly requested video. A lot of students have asked for these quick tips. So there are definitely few things that you need to take care of when you are appearing for interview online, because it's very different from when you do it face to face. So if that is something that interests you and you want to have more knowledge on that, keep on watching. So today I'll share total 10 things, and the very first thing in that is being camera presentable. Camera has a very different angle of it. I don't know, or there's a very different view of it. You might feel you're looking quite put together when you look in the mirror with your eyes, but when you see it through camera, it looks very different. It can look very different, way different. This I am telling you from my own experience of this 1 year that I'm on YouTube. So make sure you are camera presentable. And with that I mean 2-3 things. One is what you wear. Be mindful of that. And because there is a very limited view available in the camera, like right now I'm sitting in this video, so there's a very limited view. So make sure that you wear something that has maximum coverage, because there's a very limited view, and if you choose to not cover that much as well, it will look very awkward in the camera. It might look good in person, but it will not look good on camera. So especially for females, avoid something which does not have sleeves or off-shoulder tops. So avoid that. And even for males, try wearing something which is full sleeves in comparison to half sleeves or sleeveless. If you have something in collar, that will represent more professionalism. If you do not have, that's also okay, but wearing a collar top will make you look professional instantly. And regardless of your gender, make sure that your skin is hydrated and you put some lip balm on your lips, because in camera, dry skin and dry lips can look really awkward, as if you have come straight out of your sleep. It can look that bad, including your hairs. Camera has very less cooperation when it comes to representing your hairs well on camera. So make sure that you do your hairs really well, else you will come across very clumsy person on the camera. So that's very important thing. So that was point number 1, being camera presentable. Now this second important thing, that is, do not look out of your screen zone. Whatever your screen zone is in your laptop or in your camera, from wherever you're giving your interview, make sure you are always looking within the limits of that screen. If you want to talk, like if you want to make it a eye-to-eye contact conversation, look in the camera straight, the camera that you have on the top of your laptop. And if you are not trying to make it an eye-to-eye conversation, still look on the screen. Never look away or beyond your screen, because that can hint towards cheating, and obviously there is no confirmation. Nobody can confirm whether you are cheating or not. So employers do not want to take a chance. Even little bit of hint of this person might be cheating, because he's looking too away from the screen all the time. He's like looking here, there, right, left. So make sure you don't do that, because that can hint towards cheating and your profile can get dropped after that interview. There will be no use of that interview then. And then comes a very important point, which is like how to wait or take time to think. When you are appearing for interview face to face, it's very easy. The employer or the recruiter can ask you a question and you can just take your time to think, or you can write down things, and it's very evident that you're putting some thought process into it. But when you are online, on camera, talking to somebody, to take that time and how to behave in that time can get really complicated. So my advice to you guys is always, first thing, ask for taking that time. I mean, you can request, there's nothing wrong in it. Please feel free to ask for that time. If there is a question that has been asked and you do not have a straightforward answer to it, and you want to put some thought to it, some thought process to it, ask that is it okay if I just put some thoughts around it, I just take a few minutes to think on it and then I'll answer. Obviously the person will say yes. And when you ask for that, then make sure that you have a pen and paper handy, and you just do the troubleshooting in your mind, and you just write down things on the paper and you brainstorm on that paper. It will look professional to the other person who's looking at you, and plus it will be easier for you. Otherwise you'll keep looking at every wall in the room and the situation will get awkward for you as well as for the other person, and you'll not be able to concentrate on the answer that you are trying to think, or the steps that you are trying to think in your mind. You'll not be able to concentrate on them. So make sure that you have a pen and paper in handy. You ask permission for taking those few minutes, and then you brainstorm on that paper so that the situation does not look awkward to both of you. And the next very important point is always use headphone, guys. Please do not rely on the direct speakers and mic of the laptop. You might feel that you are hearing the sound good enough. That's why the other person will always will also hear your voice to a good level. It's always not the case. So please make sure that you use headphone. This will help you sound very confident, because otherwise your sound will come very weak to the other person. He or she may think that you're not very confident enough as a person or with the answer. So to level up or to sound very confident, make sure you use headphone. There's another benefit of it also. When you're hearing the question with a headphone, you will hear it very clearly and you will not ask for the repetition of it. And especially if you are taking those interviews with somebody who's not from India, so their accent can get a little difficult to understand at times. So using headphone will help you to understand those things very clearly. So always use headphones. And moving on to next important point, which is test your meeting link prior to the meeting. This is also very important, guys. I have personally seen so many students who will just click on the link which is provided to them for the meeting for the very first time when it is time for the interview. Don't do that mistake, because there can be plenty of problems or just minor issues that you can run into, and that will waste so much of your time and the other person's time. And you never know the other person who's taking your interview, if he's short tempered, and or maybe he doesn't have that much time in hand to wait for you, and then that will just not work out for you. So make sure you test that link. At times there can be some software to be downloaded or some extension to be downloaded for that link to work. So you can download that beforehand. If there is some other issue, you can get it troubleshooted by the time you have your actual interview. So always try and test your link beforehand, before your actual interview. Now the next point is no brainstormer, but still many people fails at this, the internet connectivity. Guys, I don't know why people take it so lightly and they just rely on some normal internet that they use, either it's their phone or maybe data card, I don't know. But I always advise using Wi-Fi connection when you're having an online interview, because if there are any hiccups during your interview and it gets interrupted because of the internet connectivity, no matter what the reason is, there's a power cut which was not expected, or there's some technical glitch which made it disconnect, this indicates to employer that even if they hire you in future, there will always be same kind of issue. Believe me, guys, whether they tell it to you or not, they assume this thing about those candidates, that their area has this problem, or this guy does not have good enough internet, or this will always be the problem even if he works with us in future. So it's better to drop him, because there are many others like you who are available with good internet connection. So guys, please don't underestimate it. If you do not have it yet at your place, make sure that you arrange it somewhere at your friend's place or maybe at a cafe. And the next, again, no-brainer is having a clean background for the call. It can get difficult, I understand, to have a noise-free background, but it's so important, guys. It's just the matter of an hour or two. If you do not have that kind of corner in your house, make sure you go to your friend's place or at some other place. I'm sure you can find it. Just put a little bit of effort. Don't settle for comfort level, let me sit in this corner and it will all be fine. Please do not do this. Please try to arrange a clean background for your call. Now the next point is asking for reschedule. Is it okay to ask for a reschedule of a online interview call, or you have to take it on the scheduled time only? Though I advise that it is good if you take it in the first slot which is assigned to you, but if there is something that has come up which is unavoidable, or it will create problem or noise in your interview, in the slot which is allotted to you, it is okay to request for another slot. Do not push yourself beyond the limit where it gets very, very difficult for you. It is okay to make a request. Just send an email or talk to the recruiter who has scheduled your interview and ask for another slot. Why this is so important is because during that interview, if your focus is on something else other than your interview, you'll not be able to give your 100%. When you visit face to face in any company to give an interview, you are 100% there, physically, mentally. There's nothing else which can take away your attention. But when you are in your home environment taking an online interview call, it's very important that you have that space, that noise free space, or at least your focus is not interrupted during that time, so that you can 100% focus on your interview. And the next quick tip is, if possible guys, take your interview from your laptop, not from call, if visible. If you do not have any laptop which you can arrange or you have at your home, then it's okay. But the reason being, many a times during the interview, you never know, the conversation might develop into something where the other person, the interviewer, is interested to give you some assignment to work on the live call. On a phone, it will get very difficult to receive those mails and to give a solution to that problem or to solve that problem through. So it's very handy if you do it through a laptop. It's not like you cannot appear for interview on your phone. You can, but that's little more preferable and it's more interview friendly. And guys, my last tip which can make a huge difference is, if possible, try smiling through your interview, because talking on camera can make you look very stiff and very robotic, because we all are not very used to talking to a camera or talking to someone through camera. So you may sound very robotic, very stiff, not very confident about you or about your skill set. So make sure you smile through your interview a little bit here and there, so that you can come across as very lively and confident person who's confident about himself, about the skill set, and is not very afraid of this interview. And that will create a very positive impression of you on the interviewer. So guys, those are my 10 quick tips on attending an online interview. If you have something more important or you think there's something more to be added in the list, make sure that you mention that in the comment section so that others can take a look at it and can benefit from it if I have missed on anything. With that, we came to the end of this video. I really hope you derived some value out of it. You keep on watching more content on Corporate Diaries to be corporate ready, and I'll see you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and healthy. Take care.